Hi, welcome to Turner Classic Movies. I'm Robert Osborne. I'm going to be your host.
He lived, ate, and breathed movies.
He was a real star, and he knew his stuff.
So many things that I know today, I know because I heard them come out of Robert's mouth.
Robert really was the same both on and off camera.
Always so caring, always ask how I'm doing.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. He's the guy.
I think you're going to love Turner Classic Movies, and we're all going to be doing our best to keep you with us.
My next Bob's pick for tonight is a film of unusual historical value.
Bob Osborne became a real signature part of TCM. I never looked at him as a host on TCM. I looked at him as TCM.
Robert grew up with these movies, was friends with the stars. He played cards with Lucille Ball, once a week.
On that very first interview with Brad Siegel, one of the questions he asked me was, who do you think would be a great host of TCM? I didn't know he was already considering Robert. I mentioned Robert, which I think may be one of the reasons I was hired on the spot.
He wrote the column for The Hollywood Reporter. He had just written the definitive book on the Academy Awards. He was the right guy, and he was great on camera.
When Judy did work, she really delivered the goods. And some of the moments in this film are among the choicest of her career, I think.
I didn't know what to expect. He was about as lovely a person, as hard a worker. He cared so much about these films, and the fans loved him.
You knew that this guy knew what he was talking about, that it wasn't just a script that was written for him. He was giving you knowledge that only this guy can give you.
Mrs. Skeffington is supposedly the most beautiful woman in New York. They offered it first to Hedy Lamarr, then to Merle Oberon, who couldn't do it.
He was the most uncomplicated, sophisticated person I've ever met. He was so kind. Never heard a cross word out of him. Very generous with compliments and knew something about every one of the crew members. Had lunch with us every day in the canteen.
You could tell he was a writer. Anytime you corresponded with him, he just had such a way with words. Super funny, had a great sense of humor, very clever.
Are you somebody that would like to, say, play Hunchback of Notre Dame or something like that?
That's a good idea.
Big challenge?
Maybe I could, yeah.
I was very lucky to be the producer of his private screenings program. We really became close friends, and at the end of production, he gave me this necklace because he was so happy with the show.
We were fast friends. I would go out to dinner with them. It was just a joy. People would go, oh, you're Robert Osborne's friend.
He really loved talking about classic films. He loved talking to people about classic films. I was in New York with him once. We got stopped by a doorman who saw us go into a restaurant, ran to the local bodega, got a disposable camera, and then came back and waited for us to come out so he could stop Robert and have a picture taken with him. 5 minutes later, Robert was stopped by Tony Roberts. It was the same conversation between both men. He appreciated their love of what he was doing. He didn't dismiss anybody who wanted to take a little time to talk about a classic film with him.
He ultimately became kind of an unofficial godfather to my kids. He would show up at my son's rendition of Guys and Dolls, and all of a sudden you had this waiting for Guffman moment, and Robert Osborne walks in to watch your kid perform.
We spent so much time together. My friends knew him as Sandy's work husband. He knew everybody's name on the housekeeping staff. He would say, how's your kids? What are you guys doing for Christmas?
This is one of those movies that's impossible to stop watching once you've started.
We're so glad you're here, each and every one of you.
He cherished being able to share what he knew and what he loved with the audience. And I think the audience loved him for that.
He was an incredible friend, the classiest guy I knew, made whoever he was talking to feel like the most important person in the room, and I miss him so much.
He was everything you saw nightly. That's who he was. He wasn't a made-up character. He was Robert Osborne.
To be able to call him a friend, I'll never get over it, yeah.